What's going on, everybody? Today is Wednesday. It's 10:17 a.m. and I got an offer from DoorDash to go to Walgreens and shop for 5 items. I'm gonna get $13 for 5.3 miles. And it looks like it's gonna be a real nice day today. It's 63 degrees right now, and it's supposed to be in the 70s. Oh, I'm getting a call from the DoorDash customer. Say. Hello,
From DoorDash support. I just called in to let you know about the assignment that you have confirmed at the store Walgreens. The customer is a priority customer. Now, we just want to ensure that everything is okay, and if ever you encounter any problems with the orders, kindly update the customer and call Dasher support if you need any assistance, okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. My name is Kim from DoorDash support. Have a great day and drive safe.
All right,
Bye.
have a
Take
good
care.
day. Bye-bye. Okay, that was unusual. That's the first time I've ever gotten a call from DoorDash support just to let me know that this was a high priority customer and to contact the customer if there's any problems with with getting the items. It's really unusual. This person must be somebody that obviously uses this service all the time is my best guess. But yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't even know what to think about that. I guess that's a good thing, I guess. Um, I mean, that they really care about their customer. I'm trying to figure out now, is this going to be a regular thing where they're going to regularly call me to just remind me to call the customer if I have any issues with their order? Very strange. Yeah, I guess since it's the first time, I'll just have to just wait and see if there's a pattern. But okay, so let's make sure we call the customer, or I'll make sure I call the customer if they have any questions. Boy, that really has thrown me. So today's topic of the video is going to be about weight loss. I'm on a path to losing 15 pounds is the goal, and so far I have lost 2 pounds. So I have 13 more pounds to go, and I weigh myself every Tuesday. And I am currently on a diet called the 16-8 diet, where you don't eat for 16 hours, and then in an 16-hour window you're not allowed to eat, and in an 8-hour window you're allowed to eat. So my 8-hour window right now today is 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And this morning I had the first thing I had in the morning was a cup of chicken broth with a teaspoon of olive oil. And the reason why I have that first is after you break a fast, you don't want to spike your insulin levels, because that's what causes hunger, is the spike in insulin. So you don't want anything that's a carbohydrate or anything that has sugar in it. You just want something with fat in it, and preferably stuff with unsaturated fat. And so that supposedly turns off the appetite, or at least controls it, and gets your digestive juices flowing before you actually have your official breakfast. All right, I'm pulling into Walgreens. It's the same Walgreens I was at yesterday where the internet's terrible, so I'm probably going to have some problems scanning everything, but I'll just do the best I can. All right, let's go on in. Of the receipt, ensure it's in the bag. Okay, it's in the bag. Continue. And of course it's frozen because there's no internet. That's going. It's starting to go anyway. It's thinking about it. The internet is so bad here. God, it's terrible. We're going to be going 6 minutes, 2.8 miles. We're going to be going to a house. Ring the doorbell, which is on the wall to the right of the main door. Ring a couple of times and then just leave the items at the door. I had internet problems in there, as you would expect. When I first walked in for the very first time, I went to the wall where they had the phone chargers because they wanted a specific phone charger, and they didn't have the one that they wanted. And so when I hit the button to see what that wasn't available, it said take a picture of the area just to make sure you're in the right area, to confirm you're actually looking where you're supposed to be looking. I took that picture and submitted it, and then it showed me a list of 2 alternate items that I could get that would be approved substitutes, and it wouldn't show me pictures of the items because the internet's so bad in there, it couldn't download the pictures. So I could not see what the items look like. And because it's a wall charger and they have so many different kinds, just having the text description is not very helpful. And I really need to see the picture of the packaging to confirm it's the right one. And so I said, forget that for right now, and I moved on. And I went over and I got I got like 2 bags of chips, and that scanned just fine when I was in the store, so I didn't have to exit the store to scan it. So the internet was intermittent. It was working and not working. And I got that taken care of, and then they needed some was it nasal spray? Yeah, some kind of nasal sinus spray. And I got the last one of the nasal sprays. They didn't have any more after that, and that scanned in just fine. And then there was one more item that they wanted that I easily found, but now I can't remember what it was. Is it in here? Let's see if I can see it. All I can see right now is the bags of chips. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was something small. So the final thing that I had to get was the wall charger. So I went back over there and I hit the button. I had to redo everything. I had to say it wasn't available. I had to take a picture again. And then, of course, there was no internet, so I couldn't see. But then I just stood there for a while and waited. And then the thumbnail appeared of what they looked like. And I did a screenshot or screen capture of the tiny thumbnails and then zoomed in, because when I tried to actually tap on them to see the picture bigger, it would not show anything. It was a blank screen. And then I could see what it was, and of course they're locked up, so I had to press a button, and then I had to wait until somebody came to help me, and I got it. And so I was able to complete all of the items. I never had to contact the customer. And then that was it. Then I just checked out, and the card went through, and I was on my way. And that was pretty much the shopping experience. I can't remember what that other item was. There was like some Ruffles. There was some like salt and vinegar chips. I can't remember what the 5th item was for some reason. I remember going down one particular aisle. I think it was like aisle 26, and I got that one item that I can't remember. And then I went to aisle 27 and got the other item, which was the sinus spray. I don't know why I'm blanking on what that other item was, but I guess it doesn't matter. I was able to find it real easily. And so yeah, so that was that. And then so back to what I was eating this morning. So I did have that chicken broth, and I read online that to break your fast, you should really have bone broth. I guess it's healthier, but I didn't have any bone broth. All I had was, and I said, is chicken broth a good with olive oil a good way to break a fast? And they said, yeah. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna do that. And yeah, I had a little jar of chicken broth powder. So I just took a teaspoon of that, and then I turned on my tea kettle, and I just sort of put a little, just like almost less than half a cup in my teacup, and then sort of stirred it with that powder to make my chicken broth, and then I put a teaspoon of olive oil in there. And then while that was cooling down, I made all my other items that I was going to eat for breakfast. So that would have been some blueberries, and then some oatmeal. I got like that low sugar oatmeal. It only has like 5 grams of sugar in it, and I think it was like the one packet that I grabbed was like the maple one. And then I put like some walnuts in the oatmeal. I measured out 1 cup of cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese, and I think, is that everything? Oh, and I made myself a cup of coffee, and I did a half a cup of coffee, and then I poured in half a cup of milk in there, like 2% milk. And I think that was everything. So it was a lot of stuff, but I had to start with the chicken broth first to so that I didn't spike my sugar. And I guess what they say is by doing that first, it curbs your appetite. So by the time you start feasting on the rest of your food, you start to feel full. And they were not wrong, because normally I could finish all that off and still be kind of hungry and wait for my appetite to settle down. But I could not finish the oatmeal. I was halfway done eating the oatmeal, and I started to feel so full. And so I just ate like all the blueberries that were in the oatmeal and the walnuts. And then I was like, that's it, I can't eat anymore. And I couldn't finish my coffee. I'm like, well, I'm just too full. So I just stopped, and I was like, well, that's good. And I didn't have any weird after effects. Normally, if I would have been on this fast and I would have ate what I ate before, like what I ate yesterday, I ate like some vegetables yesterday. They were like cooked vegetables. I actually got a little bit of stomach cramping going on, because I guess you're not supposed to have anything too fibrous when you break a fast, because your digestive system is kind of shocks your digestive system, because it's been fasting for 16 hours. So yeah, so I was perfectly fine after I had the meal, and I had that at 8:30, and it's now 10:45, and I am still full. I'm not hungry at all. So good news about breakfast is that it seems to be working as far as being satisfying and giving me energy to get through the day. Okay, we're going to be coming up on the drop-off real quick. I'm going to be making a right turn coming up. It's on the left. It's one of these more older houses. Okay, I see it. I'm going to turn around. I said ring the doorbell twice. Okay. Here I is. Let's do it. Ring doorbell twice. Let me reread this. Ring the doorbell to the right. Ring a couple of times and then leave at the door. All right. Come on, Walgreens. Did you see the order that was on the counter? Take a photo of yourself. Oh boy. Take a photo of yourself. Hold on. Every time I say that, my dash cam goes off and takes a picture. Okay, thanks for verifying. Did you see what was? See, there was like another bag that was that was uh at the doorstep, and I could see the items that were inside of that bag. They were the exact same items that I just shopped for. Isn't that crazy? The exact same items. I'm telling you, it looks like there was a glitch in the system, and that there was obviously some kind of glitch in the system, and I can't tell you. I can't even begin to guess what went wrong. Really weird. $8, 7 miles. I can't figure out what went wrong. I mean, obviously now I'm starting to suspect that the customer that ordered the items that I just delivered is not the customer that lives at that house. And my guess is something went wrong. Something went wrong where the customer thought they didn't get the items, which I cannot figure. How could they not have gotten the message that it was delivered? Because the app sends the customer a photo of the items. So I think there's some kind of miscommunication. And so when the customer contacted DoorDash to say they never got the order, that somehow DoorDash never received the photo. Maybe their system had a glitch of some sort, and they weren't able to see the photo that the DoorDash driver, submitted to the customer. That's the only thing I can think. That's the first time I've ever seen that too, where I've delivered the exact same thing that another driver just delivered, and it's still just sitting there at the front door. So I don't know. That's DoorDash's problem. I got my $13. That's all that matters. And that's the nice thing about DoorDash, that I don't have to worry about them reducing the tip. What they say that I'm going to get, I get, no matter what, as long as I deliver. So I'm not going to worry about it. That's DoorDash's problem. $26 for 25 miles. Nope. Costco. No, thank you. And so far everything with this diet is going well. No problems. I have a eating problem, and I don't know if I don't want to say I have an eating disorder, because I don't think it's an eating disorder. I would say I have poor eating habits that I developed from childhood. $8, 11 miles. When I was growing up, my earliest memories are cooking for myself. $19, 23 miles. $6, 7 miles. And so I never. My earliest memories is just trying to fend for myself. I just grew up in one of those kind of families, if you know what I mean. One of those families where you're kind of on your own. The deal is, when you're born, you get a roof over your head and food in the refrigerator and a bed to sleep in, and the rest is up to you. That's essentially the childhood. And so I remember as a small child just going to the refrigerator and making myself food. So sometimes I just open up a can of soup or a package of Top Ramen. I fry bologna, and I remember being so small that I'd have to stand on a chair to cook the food. And so I thought it was normal. So only now, growing up, do I realize, well, I guess that wasn't normal at all. Although in some other countries it's totally normal. I remember visiting this one town in Mexico. It was a real small rural town. Their biggest industry was butchering cattle. And I remember all the kids always being by themselves. And the oldest child I ever saw was about 12 years old, and they would be looking after all the little kids like they were the mother, but they weren't. They were like the oldest sister or oldest brother, and everybody else, the parents were gone to another city to make a living, and the oldest children were the ones responsible for watching these kids. So that's what it kind of reminded me of my childhood when I saw that. I go, this reminds me of when I was a kid. Now that I see this, but that's kind of like a third world situation. And so I developed bad eating habits from that point because whatever was convenient to eat, I would eat, and anything that they would buy would be things that have long shelf lives. So that meant a lot of canned goods. Like all my vegetables, if I ever ate, were like canned corn or canned mixed vegetables, canned green beans, canned peas, which I hardly ever ate. They would just be sitting there with a shelf life of like 2 years on them. And if there was anything in the refrigerator that was produce related, it was like a head of lettuce, iceberg lettuce, and that would be it. And so most of the times what I would be eating was sandwiches. I'd have fried bologna sandwiches, fried hot dogs, sandwiched between two pieces of white bread, mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup. I think those were my seasonings, and of course salt and pepper. So that was the staple. And then of course for dessert or side dishes was either French fries or potato chips, and or macaroni and cheese. And then if I was sick, it would usually be soup. So there was not, and then of course desserts. Forget about desserts. It was like ice cream and anything with the word hostess on it was a part of, or mother's cookies. Just everything was processed, bad, and was gonna just lead to nothing but bad eating habits because you're now all the digestive enzymes are inside of my stomach are now getting used to that type of diet. So whenever I tried to go on a diet when I got older, all I would end up doing is craving those same types of items. And I think as I got older, I would eat just like a lot of steak. Like I'd buy these big steaks and I'd fry them in the pan, or I'd grill them on a barbecue. I'd fry bacon and so, like everything you can think of that I shouldn't be having for my particular condition, which is like a metabolic condition where all my levels are all out of whack, and it causes all kinds of problems with my cardiovascular system. So it's even to this day, all these years later, it is still so hard to stay on track to eating healthy, because whenever anything goes wrong, any type of stress that occurs that's unmanageable, that's the kind of food my body wants to turn to. It wants to go back to childhood eating. That's what they call comfort food. So you break open one of those banquet chicken pot pies, or you just start having uh, like like you'll like load stuff up with like heavy carbs. Like you'll fry noodles real crispy in a pan and pour ketchup on them. Just really horrible stuff that you really shouldn't be eating. Well, I'm almost back to base. If I get another one, I'll continue the story in this video. It is now almost 11 a.m. and I really want to stop delivering by noon. So they got about another 30 minutes to give me something good, and after that, I am going to shut it off. This is going to be the last order of the day that I'm going to be doing. It's from UberEats. I'm going to go to Sprouts and shop for 3 items. I'm going to get $8.97 for 1.3 miles. I almost didn't take this one. I was trying to do a minimum of $10 if I have to do shopping. But since the day's almost over, and it's really only about $1 short of the minimum, and it's also the miles are so low, I mean, you can't really ask for miles to be much lower than that for that amount of money. So I just said, why not? Let's just do it. And it was about 11:26, I think, when it came in, and I had said that if it hits 11:30, I was gonna turn everything off. So I figured everything makes sense to just go ahead and just take it, and that'll just be the last one. At least I got 2 jobs done today, which is fine. I normally do probably about 3 is what I normally do lately. And so yeah, so this one should not be too bad. It's just Sprouts. I don't predict anything too horrific that's gonna go on. I don't think I'm gonna be able to tell you guys much about more about dieting or whatever, my history of my bad eating habits, because the miles are so short. I swear, the moment I start telling you guys about, I mean, unless there's a really long red light, then I'll be able to continue it. But usually, for miles this short, it's gonna be just the shopping, and then we're gonna go right into just dropping it off, and then that's gonna do her. And then of course I have to tell you about the experience inside of Sprouts and how it went. So just have to play it by ear. While we're here at Sprouts, I'm gonna find a safe place to park here, and then we will go on in and pick up these 3 items. All right, let's do it. Super easy. I got some strawberry thing, orange thing, and then there's cookies and cream. Just ice cream. Let's go. Submit. We are going to be going to, it looks like an apartment. Yes, an apartment, and a leave at the door. They gave hardly any information. Everything was easy. I was super fast, and every item was in the ice cream freezer, so it couldn't have been easier. Checkout process. I was in the checkout line. There was one person in front of me, some lady, and she was pretty quick, and then it was my turn, and the cashier commented on my jacket with the USA Olympic emblem on it, and he said some kind of funny joke about me being in the Olympics, and I told him, yeah, I'm in the DoorDash Olympics right now. And then and he says, oh, the downhill something, and then I responded with, yeah, it's all downhill from here and when it comes to this job. And then he said something about some specific person, and I cannot remember. I didn't recognize the name. He said in some sporting event there was this person, and he was commenting about this Olympic athlete, and I of course have no idea what he was talking about. So I was like, well, have a good one. And that was that. That was the extent of our conversation. Alright, so we're basically already here. See how fast that was? I've just got to find the building. This one? I believe it's this one here. So I'm going to park and head on over. See how fast that was? Let's go drop it. Alright, come on, Sprouts. Every time I come here, it's usually on this side of the building. So let's see if it's the same customer. Yeah, same customer. I can already tell that I'm losing weight. My pants started to fall. Not completely fall off, but I could tell they were slumping. I've got to make sure to tighten up my belt. It's weird how the moment I start to lose weight, I lose it. First in my face I lose the weight, then I lose it in my stomach area. Those are the two. I guess those are the two places where I start to put on weight, because every other part of my body always seems to not put on weight. They always stay about the same. So yeah, so I'm so close to home, so I'm just gonna wrap it here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like. Don't forget to subscribe. I could use all the subscribers I could get. And I think that's it. So I will see you guys again on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.